The Dulce base has an entire floor devoted to cloning. In Area 51, underground, they have an entire floor devoted to cloning. A lot of the deep bases, they have an entire floor devoted to cloning. The cloning floor is the one that has the big auditorium and the seating and the arena. They started doing it around 1945. It was all politicians at first, a government, world communications.
Then they got bored in these disposable bodies because it loses the novelty really fast.
So they started bringing in all these celebrities. All the mainstream artists and all the biggest political people and all the biggest royalties go to this place. They don't realize that it's a contract for the rest of your life. The rest of your life. If you ever have any children, they're included in the contract. They can kill you remotely from the cloning center. If they apply a constant state of pain to your clone, you'll die in real life.
It's a terrible, diabolical, nefarious place.
What's happening? Dean Booma, Painfully Beautiful Productions, and we are on Hunting Predators number 6. Hunger Games, Squid Games. This is not a game. As you saw there in the beginning, we kicked it off a little bit of Donald Marshall. I will link to his Twitter X profile down below. And of course, all the links for all of this that I share is always provided below. These Hunting Predators can be a little bit of a mishmash of what I'm trying to like poke at, because every time I go down these, I go down deep rabbit holes, and they just go endlessly on and on and on, and so many things connect. It's insane. And in this one, there's so many rabbit holes you can go down, so I will link to stuff below if people want to go through those rabbit holes. But let's see what we can cover in this one. Donald Marshall, one of those guys that I go up and down on as far as like credible. Is he still the credible guy? Is it a clone? Like, how do you know? Like, his story is so wild and whatnot. And I did an old cloning video for the previous platform that I was on, and I got really into it and I enjoyed it. So we'll see. I might cover something on here, but I wanted to link to something there. But this ties, he talks about this coliseum. And it ties into the Dulce base of what I was covering in some previous episodes. And the whole alien thing, the cloning thing, the real lizards, all that kind of stuff. But what the Coliseum is, you know, they take all these guys, these celebrities, these politicians, these people from all over the world, and they get down in this cloning center and they duel it out like they used to, gladiator style. And they torture and they do crazy stuff. Well, what initially got me into this Hunting Predators is what I'm going to share here in just a moment, but it ties into this idea that I think is what they're trying to pull. They're trying to bring it to the surface. They're trying to bring it into the population with predictive programming, and they're maybe bored of having it in the dark. Now, they've been doing hunting parties. We'll cover some of that information. You know, George Bush Sr. was well known in the Kathy O'Brien, Bryce Taylor stuff, and plenty of other material for doing the hunting parties. But that's just one aspect of it. I mean, this goes into the royalties. This goes up into Canada and some of the schools and the Native Americans and stuff like that. The stuff that's going to come out is going to blow people's mind. If it doesn't come out soon, it's going to freaking make my mind explode. So anyways, let's get into covering some of this. But if you think back, the Biden inauguration, what happened there? Yeah, Lady Gaga came out supporting this Hunger Games crap. And you think they don't want to bring it to the surface?
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah, they're bringing it to the surface. They're bored with their games being hidden, and they want to bring it into the public, and they want everybody cheering on this disgusting stuff. And we're going to get into all of that, but what really set the stage is for what's going on right now is the release of this new Hunger Games prequel. Check it out.
Mr. Snow. After everything you've seen out there in the world, what are the Hunger Games for?
Are you coming to the tree?
The Hunger Games, they're to punish the districts. Those tributes don't have a choice.
Your role is to turn these children into spectacles, not survivors.
So we both be free.
We're live! Smile. It's why we have teeth.
Imagine it was your name that they pulled.
Strange things did happen here.
I just want to know that somebody still cared about me, that I was still of value.
Welcome to the Capitol.
You look like you shouldn't be here.
I shouldn't, but I'm your mentor.
A rebel.
I am gonna get you out of here.
If you want to protect people, then it's essential to accept what human beings are and what it takes to control them. Let's see you use that famous snow charm.
You seem like a good man, Corleone Snow.
I have seen what war does to people.
Fueled with the terror of becoming prey. See how quickly we become predator? I want my enemies to see a rainbow of destruction engulfing the world.
You're monsters! All of you! Good luck with that poor little songbird.
Where is she?
It's a mystery. And mysteries have a way of driving people mad.
Mr. Snow, let me ask you one final time. What are the Hunger Games for?
Hanging tree.
It's the things we love most that destroy us.
Open your eyes, sleepy child, and awaken to the truth that it's about control. It's about domination. It's about the new world order. It's about everything that these black magic wizards and witches want to implement into the world, coming at a time where we are at a precipice of who's going to win, who's going to take control of America, and therefore the world. We are at that time right now. So, there's so many rabbit holes this goes down. Let's touch on Susan Collins, the author of The Hunger Games. Now, this movie is likely going to blow up like crazy. There were so many fans from the past ones, and I'll admit I wasn't awake, and I read all the books, watched all the movies. I thought they were phenomenal from an entertainment standpoint. And then I started to wake up to what was going on in the world, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And credit to Mom, good old Mama-san. She was saying this is going on in the world right now, and at the time I was just like, oh, rolling my eyes and just like, come on, Mom. It's legitimate. Look at the Donald Marshall stuff. Look at what's going on. I highlighted something here, and we're using Wikipedia, but at least for this, we can use their own weapons against them. I don't care. Interesting that she was married previously, but I believe she kept her last name. There's something powerful about the Collins name, which I'm going to touch on here in just a moment. But she was born in Hartford, Connecticut. She was born to a Lieutenant Colonel Michael John Collins. I don't know anything about the man. I'm not here to make major accusations or anything like that. I'm not going to touch on that stuff, but I'm going to link to things and let people do some of their own research. Not saying he's bad, but what have we seen with a lot of these people that end up in, whether it's MK Ultra, maybe in cloning, in various projects like the Dulce base and all those kinds of things that are going on. They're connected to these military bases. They're connected to these military people. He served in the Korean and Vietnam War. Maybe he was a good guy. I don't know. Maybe Susan Collins is a good person. I have no idea. But she shares a last name that is going to be very important here in a moment when I get into that material. Maybe she just likes sitting around thinking of ways to make child sacrifice appealing to the masses. She just enjoys it, you know? I don't know. And then she makes it into a capitalists. She doesn't like capitalists because they're socialist, communist, fascists. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. That's just a spin on some things. Anyways, the Connecticut thing is very important. Being the daughter of a lieutenant colonel. That's interesting. I'll say that. She did a lot of stuff for Nickelodeon. In similar ways, in some ways, to Disney. You know, not as big as Disney by any means, but very influential to kids. She did a lot of work there. Her inspiration, though, for her first work was Gregor the Overlander. The first book of the New York Times bestselling series, The Underland Chronicles, came from Alice in Wonderland, when she was thinking about how one was more likely to fall down a manhole than a rabbit hole and would find something other than a tea party. Regardless of that last little bit of the sentence, Alice in Wonderland, proven MK Ultra movie, a major purpose, and it opens up this entire game board. It opens up everything. The rabbit hole. The whole conspiracy thing of follow the white rabbit and down the rabbit hole is coming from Alice in Wonderland. And there's also more to that, which I'm not going to get into in this one because we could sit here for hours on this hunting predators and hunt these fools down. But at some point, and I'm going to link to a lot of stuff, but at some point, the truth of what's going on in this world is going to come out, and we are going to hunt down the facts. Like I said, I don't know if Susan Collins is a good or bad person, but I have my suspicions. Collins, Susan Collins, Fritz Springmeier, the Collins bloodline. One of the 13 Illuminati families is the Collins family. The first two that he mentions in his work that covers the 13 bloodline families, the Illuminati, is the Astor family and the Bundy family. Now, I carry one of the bloodline last names. I'm connected to it by at least that. I have no known work with Illuminati and Satanists in any past that I can remember, unless they men in black me with one of those little zapper things, however that works, and erase my memory, but I don't have any ties to that as far as I know. But the Collins family has been kept out of the limelight because they have more occult power than the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. How do you have more power than them? That is crazy. But it goes into it. I'm not going to cover all of this. Like I said, I'm going to link to this stuff below and let you do your own research. I don't know. But it goes into how the Collins, the O'Collins, they come over from across the pond into the New England states. What are the New England states? Massachusetts, Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. They're known for being witches. What happened in Massachusetts that everybody knows? The Salem witch trials. He goes into some of this and talks about how some of the names were tied of the Collins family to the Salem witch trials. It is insane how all this stuff connects. Like I said, I'm not here to paint everything negative and bad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't watch the Hunger Games. I'm probably going to watch it because I want to know what the heck's going on and what they're trying to do. It comes at a time where these guys are fighting for power. And they're fighting the capitalist Donald Trump, the right-wing, lunatic, the guy that they try to paint as a Nazi when they are connected to the Nazis. It's crazy. It's crazy. And what are they bringing in? The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. What's going on in the world right now? I mean, some people don't know. Some people even in the conspiracy world, some people in the MAGA movement, whatever, that are for Donald Trump, they don't even realize. Snakes. I mean, you're talking venom. I've covered in previous Hunting Predators, but venom in the sense of, if you know who Dr. Artis is in this movement, he's talking about venom being directly related to COVID and this coronavirus stuff. Watch the Water. He's talking about how they put synthetic venom, all kinds of different snake venoms, into perhaps the water supply, into these vaccines, into all kinds of stuff. I don't know if it's the vaccines, but anyways, you can look into Dr. Artis and start seeing what he's talking about when it comes to the venom stuff. But the snakes, the reptilians, that goes into the aliens, Dulce base, the Greys, the cloning, who knows, MK Ultra. It unlocks so many things. Like I said, I'll just link to everything below. People can do their own research and we'll see what this movie actually entails. But the predictive programming, are they trying to create the reality? Because when you look at these people, these entities, this darkness, it comes from a place of destruction, control. It doesn't create. It uses us and our creative imaginations to create. You can go back to all the 9/11 stuff and see the predictive programming, maybe one of the more obvious ones. And it's in the media, it's in the cartoons, it's in the movies, the TV shows, it's in news articles, it's everywhere. Are they not throwing out their biggest push right now with bringing back Hunger Games? I mean, years later, maybe a decade or more later, since the originals came out, and it's the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Snakes. Reptiles, the serpent in the garden, Satan. They're pushing child sacrifice into the minds of the masses. And like I said, this is probably going to blow up to a lot of people that have no idea the stuff that's going on and would call me a crazy conspiracy theorist. But soon, we're going to know the truth of what they've been doing and how they do it. And is there witchcraft involved? I'll let you decide. Where does this go next? What else is tied to Suzanne Collins that has already been uncovered from many years ago? Let's get into that.
This is a satellite image of Sandy Hook Elementary School. According to Google Earth, it actually exists and is located in Newtown, Connecticut. Therefore, I consider it confirmed that the school exists in Newtown, Connecticut. This is a fictional map of Gotham City. It was created by persons unknown, but the prop master for The Dark Knight Rises movie lived in Newtown, Connecticut. This map appears in the movie The Dark Knight Rises at approximately 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 41 seconds.
Mark, you have a GPS on it so we can start to figure out how to bring it down.
The Gotham that appears on this map is not real. It does not exist anywhere on Earth. On the Gotham map appears an island. The map labels this island as Sandy Hook, and the circled area here is Strike Point 1. Or maybe this other area is Strike Point 1. Or maybe they both are, I don't know. I have oriented the map of Google Earth to 0 degrees north. I centered Sandy Hook Elementary School in Google Earth and viewed it from an altitude of 23,326 feet, which puts the map's scale at 1 mile and 1 foot, about the same as the Gotham map, plus 1 foot. Sorry, but I got too frustrated trying to get it any more precise. After resizing the Gotham map so that the scales were identical, I placed the red strike zone circle over Sandy Hook. Here is the result. Interestingly, the highways line up a little bit, giving us similar features on 2 different maps. Both are of a place called Sandy Hook. One is fictional, one is real. Where one says Strike Zone 1, the other was the location of a school shooting. A lot of people want to say that this is too much to be a coincidence, and come to many conclusions about the meaning. I prefer just to enjoy a good coincidence for what it is.
Parker, I assume he's going to come out to the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in. Okay. My name's Robbie Parker.
Hey, actors act, and none better than you.
And here we go.
Here we go indeed. So, how does this connect to Susan Collins? Well, when I was doing a little bit of research, and I'm not going to go deep into all this, but it goes back, when she originally released The Hunger Games. And this is a site. I have no idea what it is. It looks like a fan site. It's not a conspiracy site. It's just all about the Hunger Games. Suzanne Collins lives in Newtown, Connecticut. Blah, 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 blah. Newtown, Connecticut. Sandy Hook. Dark Knight. Now it goes over to this. This is like 2012, like when the Hunger Games first came out. Conspiracy connection. Suzanne Collins, author of the Hunger Games, lives in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. This was by John Rappaport. He's still active. He's still out there doing stuff. Don't know much about the guy. Some of this stuff looks a little wild. But anyways, goes into a lot of this stuff. The confirmed discovery at the 1 hour and 58, second mark, like that video showed, of the Dark Knight Rises. Commissioner Gordon is pointing to the word Sandy Hook on a map of the Gotham area that has caused a storm of interest. So like I'm saying, I'm not going to go at all into the Sandy Hook one. We just saw Alex Jones take it for this one. And man, it's just crazy how much they've hushed this up. I'll link to this, but it goes into the Batman massacre, connected to the Sandy Hook, Connecticut school massacre, kids killed. In that case, add to the list of coincidences the fact that Susan Collins, the author of The Hunger Games, in which 23 children are ritually sacrificed in arena competition, lives in Newtown, Sandy Hook, and in real life someone's just killed 20 children in the Sandy Hook elementary school. Eerie coincidences. Connecticut. Collins. Witches. Hollywood. Antidepressants, school shootings, MK Ultra, cloning, connected to military bases. Her father is a colonel, or was a colonel, lieutenant colonel, however that works. Oh man, it was made into a hit movie and she resides there. I don't know if she still lives there. This was in 2012. Dystopian future. It's oh man, when I got into this, I couldn't believe what I was seeing and how all the connections. Like I said, I'm not going to touch on any of that, but we are going to now get into the dark reality. This is going to be tough. I've talked about and brought up quite a bit, and I don't like to share her material because she's out there and she needs to get, support Kathy O'Brien, but she's come out and talked about the hunting parties and goes into it in her trance movie. And then I share another one that came from many years ago, probably around the time Hunger Games came out. A woman, I believe from England, Toos, came out and reported what happened to her by cardinals and bishops in the hunting parties that got her. And I'll link to that full one below, and I touch on just the hunting parties. But grab onto your whatever to get you ready for this, because this is not a game. This is serious, and it's really happening. And there's a lot of these testimonies. I'm just going to cover a little bit because it's really tough. And not that we don't go into those areas, because I follow truth where it leads. But like I said, this is not a game.
An extremely traumatizing MK Ultra mind control experience that I've had was the most dangerous game of human hunting. No matter what the weather, I didn't have any clothes and was turned loose in a woods and then literally hunted by men with guns. And never knowing whether or not I would actually be shot. They used hunting dogs to track, which was really, really traumatic. And of course, it was kind of designed to where there's no place to run, no place to hide, because there was no way to get away from them. And it was at one of those human hunting places that I saw George Bush Jr. hunted just as I was. And his own father and Dick Cheney were a part of extreme trauma base for him because they were creating a Manchurian candidate who would become president.
Go on.
So the ghosts stay in the girl made him stop eating candy.
It was absolutely horrible that anybody was being hunted. And I've always had extreme compassion for George Bush Jr. It was an effort to be able to keep all the power in the Bush-Clinton dynasties.
People think, well, you run against each other, you're enemies. Political enemies. Well, we were friends before he beat me, before we ran against each other, and we've been friends afterward.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
My primary mind control programmer was Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino. He was the founder of the occult temple set that proliferated on our military bases and where occultism was used for mind control on and by our military.
The Army has known of my religion for the last 20 years. There has never been a problem with it.
I've been involved in intelligence and psychological operations for about 40 years in all levels of it and across the intelligence community.
He used the blood traumas and brutality, high-voltage stun guns, and, of course, the neuro-linguistic programming, the language of the subconscious. I met with Aquino on various military and NASA installations.
And on that castle where the Freemasons examination was, there were also, it was in the forest, they had some hunting. They hunted, I would like to say us. There were more, me and also my sister, and there were more. But it was at night, it was dark.
What did they do exactly on the hunting?
What I remember, I was naked and it was cold. And there was on my feet, I put my feet in a clam or so I couldn't go on any longer.
I'm sorry, on a what?
A clam.
A bear trap, a clam.
Yeah. Like you had a trap around you. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And it was hunting with dogs, not with a gun but it was, and they were on horses. It was with Prince Bernhard.
I'm sorry.
Prince Bernhard, the former king of...
Cardinal Alfring.
Cardinal.
Alfring.
How do you spell that?
A-L.
A-L?
F.
F.
R-I-N-K.
R-I-N-K.
He was a Catholic cardinal?
Yes. Yeah.
And the Prince Bernhard.
Yeah, Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, the man who set up Bilderberg. And the World Wildlife Federation.
How old were you when this happened? The hunting?
At about 9, 10 years old, 7. During that whole period it happened. And it was not only in that forest. But they put the dogs to hunt us. And then when you could not go on, and there was that clam around my feet. dogs, they raped us, and they were laughing and putting jokes on me.
How many men did this?
What I know or what I see is 2 men, but probably there were more, I don't know.
Were there other children involved? Were you the only child, or was the others with you?
I know that I heard crying or screaming, and it was my sister, and she didn't take part afterwards on those hunting parties. But with me, they took me to England, to Wales, Scotland.
Who took you?
The doctor.
I'm sorry, hunting parties in Wales? And
In Carnarvon Castle and in nearby Fort Williams in Scotland.
being 2 years.
Carmen was here with 3 other girls. The other girls are all beaten to death. One is they put petrol on it or burned her.
Gas to burn the body?
No,
when
she was alive.
When she was alive, burned.
And one is with, beaten to death with sticks. And the third one, I don't know at this moment what happened to her. And Carmen, she was very scared. She could not say anything. She was on her knees laying, and after that, there were a lot of. She told that about 20 people here around her. One of them was my father, and one of them was her father. And her father, he raped her afterwards.
Here, on the spot.
And this was, you say, 2 years ago?
When she was just 12, it was 2.5 years ago. It was around November, December 2010. 10.
November 2010.
So you see what I mean? This is not a game. Please check out and support Kathy O'Brien. This was done by 8th House Productions. It goes into so many things, but that's what I'm talking about with the MK Ultra. I mean, the hunting parties is one aspect of it. The child sacrifice, adrenochrome, drug running, the ways that they manipulate the masses. It's all covered here. A young blood film. And Kathy O'Brien has been out there so long. And her story, get her books, find all of her material if you're interested in any of this stuff. Like I said, man, I'm not here to say don't watch the Hunger Games, don't participate in this stuff. I think you need to open your eyes and your mind to these stories, because these people are carrying around a kind of trauma that we have no idea about. I don't care how much trauma you've been through, unless you've been through these hunting parties, ritual sacrifice, raised in this, brought up to where the people you trust the most, the cardinals, the bishops, the presidents, the politicians, the celebrities, are doing this to you. I don't know if you can have a grasp on the evil. I'm not saying we don't suffer. I think we can all, I went through drug addiction, I went through all these different various things, but I don't think we can understand the magnitude of what they're doing with the MK Ultra to the masses. And this is Tu's story, and I just want to show who was behind this, and I'm going to link to this video, but you can get to all this through that. And these people that have been out there trying so hard to a masses that is so immersed in sports, Hollywood, and all these various things that keep us distracted, you know, give them circus and bread, like Bill Cooper used to say, and like was said probably long before him. Coming from the days of Rome, the coliseum, tied into what I was talking about with Donald Marshall and the cloning center. But the Rome Coliseum, give them bread and circus and they will never rebel. So unless you start watching these things with an open mind to the understanding of what's really going on in the world, while you're immersed in the Netflixes and the Hulus and the ESPNs and all this stuff, people are being sacrificed or being tortured, and children are already going through the things that they're depicting on the screen and making it look like some dystopian fictional future, and it's not fiction at all. Like I said, I'm not drawing any lines on Susan Collins or her father or various people. I'm just exposing various things that I'm coming across as I'm putting together these hunting predators, and I'm linking to things below for everybody else to do their own research and make their decisions. You know, take or leave some of the stuff. If you can't handle the Rappaports or the cloning stuff, it's too much for you. Like, this is proof that I just showed you of people that are given testimony. They have no benefit in this, of coming out and saying these various things about such powerful people. And the crazy thing is Kathy O'Brien's been doing this for how long? That Toos came out and did her testimony and gave, you know, all those investigators all this intel to put away people that are in very high, powerful positions. Have they been sued? Have they been silenced? Have they been taken out in the court of law? The faulty, disgusting court of law system that we have in this country. No, they have not. Because they know through the power of discovery, and if enough people woke up to what was going on in the corruption that is our court systems and the law, the power of the people is what they fear the most. We, the people, rising up, becoming awake to what is going on. Now, we're not done yet here. There's another program that I watched, a series that was on Netflix. As was in the title, Squid Games became very popular, and it continues. Just like Hunger Games continues, Squid Games continues on another level. And we're going to poke at that a little bit in this Hunting Predators as we search through the facts and hunt this stuff down.
지금 이 자리에 계신 여러분들은 모두 감당할 수 없는 빚을 지고 삶의 벼랑 끝에 서 계신 분들입니다. 게임에 참가를 원하지 않는 분은 지금 말씀해 주시길 바랍니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다입니다.
그 옛날에 어릴 때 하던 거 말이야?
사람을 그렇게 죽여놓고 6개의 게임을 모두 이긴 분들께는 저에게 상금이 지급됩니다.
눈 바짝 뜨고 계세요.
제일 센 중에부터 크게 살 길이.
애들 게임 규칙 단순해.
내가 무조건 이기게 해줄 테니까. 무슨 수로? 무슨 수를 써서도.
이러면 안 되는 거잖아! 우리끼리 이렇게 죽이면 안 되는 거잖아! 게임을 거부하는 참가자는 탈락으로 처리된다.
So we've already covered a ton of material. It's all pointing to what I was talking about in the beginning. The preconditioning, the pre-programming that they're leading humanity towards. Their hope for this dystopian future that is their ultimate control and domination. New world order. Where they can do to us as they like, and those that they keep around work for them, entertain them, are slaves for them in every possible way. Donald Marshall, the Coliseum, they get bored Clones don't react with the same kind of fear as a naturally born person that has no idea this is going on. Can you imagine being taken into this, whether it's the cloning center, hunting parties, child sacrifice, and being brought into this without any awareness that this is going on? The fear level that you would have. What are they doing with movies and this agenda? Hollywood, all of this, Disney, attached to the CIA, three-letter organizations, attached to the Illuminati bloodline families. You get your glimpse in Squid Games of who's behind this. White guy wearing masks. For what? I don't want to give away everything. People want to do their own investigative work. But it's for their pleasure, for their control, and because they're bored. And because they can, if we let them. Now, why am I saying some of this right now? Where is this headed? I'm telling you, MK Ultra spreads out through these portals that we call phones, smartphones, laptops, tablets, televisions, television of what they want to see for the future. And they're grooming us using all this stuff that they've learned from the Nazi days, Mengele, Aquino. And it doesn't matter if you're in these programs or not, there's some level of MK Ultra mind control programming going on for all of us, every single one of us that participates in this. And they're grooming us for what comes next, step by step. We've moved past Hunger Games, we're now in Squid Games, using childhood games for their ritual sacrifices for these humans. What's the next step? Here it is.
Attention all players. It is now time for the next game.
Oh my god.
Please enter the game hall immediately.
What is this?
Damn. Oh my god.
Let the game begin.
I want to live, not merely survive.
This is a savage game.
And I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive.
Oh shit.
I gotta be me.
This game has to be played with strategy.
I'm gonna be your best friend, but I will absolutely double cross you.
You can't trust anybody in here.
You must now pick 2 players to eliminate.
We're in Squid Games. Let's get real. Let's sink these ships.
We are a good team. You're the brightest light in here.
For somebody else.
People's true colors are starting to come out.
I gotta be free.
This is a $4.56 million game.
The money is shown.
You have been eliminated.
Inch by inch. And you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And they're creeping in. They've been doing it for years. Games like Survivor and all these reality, quote, reality TV shows where they play on our greed, our backstabbing, and all the things that they enjoy seeing the human race participate in. All for drama, all for entertainment, all for what? Pretty soon, the only true color that'll be showing is red. And I'm not talking Netflix red. Wake up. Thank you for being here on Painfully Beautiful Productions. This was Booma. We're going to continue hunting the predators and hunting down the truth. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe, set up your notifications as we continue hunting this never-ending pursuit of truth for the sake of hope, healing, and turning all of this around on them. God bless you all, and thank you for being here. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.